Good morning.
Good morning.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
And welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Antonio. Our weekly worship is where we connect, share information, and inspiration. My name is Dana Clark. I sing in the choir, and I'm a member of the worship committee. My passion is writing songs on Unitarian themes, and I'm only half joking when I say that all I do is listen to the sermons and rearrange the words. That's where the lyrics come from. Our faith is all-inclusive, and all means all. We strive to enact a universal love that binds us in mutual care and affection, especially in our work for justice for our planet and for all people. Let us consider the many homelands of our ancestors and remember that we are able to join here together in part because of their journeys. Our church is located in Yanaguana, the homeland of the Coyotecan people, who have lived here for over 8,000 years. Their 53,000 descendants, knowledge keepers of this area, still struggle for the right to participate in decisions concerning their people, property, and sacred heritage sites. If you are new to us or visiting for the first time today, we welcome you to fill out a yellow visitor's card. We'd like to get to know you and follow up with you. Wherever you are on your life's journey, we hope you will find your place with us. We'd like to extend special recognition to our visitors by asking you to rise as you are able so we can see who you are, so we can welcome you. We now invite everyone to reach out and connect to someone sitting near you. Say hello and be sure to greet our visitors. It's nice to hear so much life in this room. Today we have a guest speaker, Reverend Erin J. Walter. She's proud to serve as the minister and executive director for the Texas Universal, whatever we are, the Texas Unitarian. There's a lot of syllables in that. The Texas Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry, TexUJM for short. The UU State Action Network for Texas. She's winner of the Sermon Award from the UU Women's Federation and a former journalist. Reverend Erin is a singer-songwriter, bassist for the band Parker Woodland. In 2022, Her book, Care for the World, Reflections on Community Ministry, was published by Skinner House Books. Find her new album, There's No Such Thing as Time, at parkerwoodland.com. And here she is, Reverend Erin.
Good morning. It is so wonderful to be back with you today. The last time I was here, we did a service with your UU The Vote team, and there was so much life in the work that they were doing that we kind of had to condense the service, and so I'm back for part 2. And I will tell you that my band and I released our album this weekend, and we played 3 shows in Austin in 24 hours, and so it was kind of, thank you, kind of a stretch when your wonderful new minister, the Reverend Dr. Kalani Kachela, my dear colleague, extended the invitation to come today. But my guitarist, Andrew Solin, said yes, and so we couldn't resist the chance to make First UU San Antonio a part of our celebratory weekend, and we are so happy to be with you today. Yeah. So, on behalf of the approximately 40 Unitarian Universalist congregations around this state, and on behalf of all of your siblings in the Texas UU Justice Ministry, which indeed it is a mouthful, good morning, thank you for having me, and love from all around the state pouring in to your very special congregation today. Our opening words come from the book Holding Change, The Way of Emergent Strategy, Facilitation, and Mediation by Adrienne Marie Brown. The actual reading comes from contributor Mickey Scott Bay Jones. It's called An Invitation to Brave Space. Will you take that invitation in with me? Together, we will create brave space, because there is no such thing as safe space. We exist in the real world. We all carry scars, and we have all caused wounds. In this space, we seek to turn down the volume of the outside world. We amplify voices that fight to be heard elsewhere. We call each other to more truth and love. We have the right to start somewhere and continue to grow. We have the responsibility to examine what we think we know. We will not be perfect. This space will not be perfect. It will not always be what we wish it to be, but it will be our brave space together, and we will work on it side by side. Blessed be and welcome to worship. Our opening hymn is 1017 in the teal hymnal. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit. 1017, Building a New Way.
We are building a new way.
love to be here. The musicians in this congregation, everybody. Amazing. Thank you, Jaime. It's time for our chalice lighting, one of the symbols of our Unitarian Universalist faith. In this moment, I invite you to check in with the source of light in your own soul, in your own spirit. Consider the person or persons in this congregation who might be a source of light and connection to you, and make a promise to tell them what they mean to you when you see them.
I invite you to affirm our covenant that binds us together and expresses our promises to each other. Please join me as you are able. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. Su sacramento es la búsqueda de la verdad y su oración es el servicio. Convivir en paz, buscar sabiduría en libertad, dar a la humanidad nuestro servicio fraternal, para que todas las almas crezcan en armonía con la divinidad. Así pactamos el uno con el otro. Reverend Erin and Andrew Solin are with us from Austin to bring the message and the music.
So while Andrew is setting up over here, I'll tell you this song, Makeup, that we're going to do was our Pride Month single back in June. And if you look on the Parker Woodland YouTube, you'll see some folks you might recognize from our activist community and our UU community in the music video. This is a song that was inspired by the fight for healthcare and trans and LGBTQ rights in our state. And if you catch wind of any of the words, please do feel free to sing along. It's called Makeup. So lonely in a crowd, sometimes nothing helps. You're always trying, and it gets so tiring. So you call your mother from upstairs, say, call me by my new name. You just keep trying, but you get so tired. Burning in the wrong skin. Can't they see what's happening? You're a butterfly becoming, no matter what they say. And your father comes downstairs, you know who he'll blame. party now. It's your party now. You know who you are. Get your makeup on. Get your makeup on, boy. You know you're not gonna die yet. Get your favorite dress. Get your favorite dress and your glitter on. You know who you are, and you don't know the many thing. You know who you are, and you don't know the many thing. You know who you are, and you don't know the many thing. You know who you are, and you don't know the many thing. You know who you are. You know who you are. You know who you are. You know who you are, and you don't know that many thing.
Wow. At this time, we invite you to join in the ritual of candle lighting, which symbolizes the light within us and the gift of life that sustains our world. We have 3 tables. Come down to the table of your choice. Reading from the Community Book of Life. Happy 10th birthday, Lucas. You are so loved, and we are so proud of you. Happy birthday to Bill Bush, who made his debut 57 years ago today. Everyone is invited to a debate watch party Tuesday, the 9th, at 7:30 to 10 p.m. at Big Z Burger Joint, 5539 UTSA Boulevard. Sad to hear news that Steve Feinstein and Lucy are moving to Colorado this week. They will be missed. And happy 82nd birthday to Terry Chadwick, with love from her daughter Tess. For all our joys, sorrows, and concerns, we offer empathy and compassion. May this caring community show loving kindness and live fully into our values and deepest commitments. May it be so because we make it so. And to follow up on the previous announcement that Steve Feinstein and Lucy are moving to Colorado, it is with a sense of poignancy that Susan Dill wants us to announce that Steve Feinstein is moving to Colorado. Steve, that's the third time. Steve's service to this church has been formidable. He taught RE, he was the advisor for our youth group for many years. He also served on the board on the budget committee, and he was our treasurer for years. He also created the filing system for our music library. Although this service was impressive and appreciated, what he will be most missed for is his musical contributions. He was a key member of the choir for over 20 years. He and Don formed the Tim and Bob Show, a group that regularly performed for our services and celebratory events, and always delighted us. His musical contributions were especially cherished during the lonely time of the pandemic, where he shared his Beatles repertoire with us when we started the online services. He could always be depended on to create beautiful musical moments at our memorial services and our music program services. All of us will remember the way he ended our music service last May. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. Although we are all happy you will be enjoying being the loving grandpa you are, living close to your daughter's family in Colorado, you will be sorely missed here. Thank you, Steve. Would you rise wherever you are and we can show our appreciation? We invite you to teleport back here anytime you want to. It's time for our children to decide whether they will go to the playground or stay with their parents for the rest of the service as we sing the children's recession.
have very fond memories of making music with Steve on previous trips here. So I'm so grateful to get to be here today on I don't want to call it your last day, before you go to Colorado for a while. Thank you again for all of the music that you've brought to this congregation and to your UU siblings by extension. As I've been sitting here, I've been thinking about another family that has left this congregation, a family whose laughter still rings in my heart and my ears from a previous service, but who left because of the lack of health care for their child. The song Makeup that we did comes directly from the work of your Texas UU Justice Ministry. A couple of years ago, I was outside the governor's mansion with many of your UU siblings and our colleagues and comrades in action, calling for health care for trans youth and for all Texans. Because let me be clear, when I talk about the rights of trans Texans, I'm talking about the rights of all Texans. When I'm talking about the rights of immigrants and asylum seekers, I'm talking about the rights of all people. So we were outside the governor's mansion. It also makes me shudder a little bit, this idea that our governor has a mansion and we have to stand out there and fight for health care for our children and our neighbors. But there was a child with a sign that said, "Not ready to die yet." And that's where the lyric from that song comes. Put your makeup on, boy, you're not gonna die yet. But the lyric that's most important to me now is, you know who you are and you don't owe them anything. We don't owe anything to the people who would deny our humanity or the humanity of our neighbors and our loved ones, but we do owe something to our ancestors. We do owe something to the earth and to the generations to come. And we have 57 days until this election. So I'm here today to support your UU The Vote team and all of you as we make a big push to see our values as Unitarian Universalists and progressive people of faith come to life in our laws, in our halls of power. And as your covenant, I believe it was, said, may it be so because we make it so. So this story of who we owe something to, today I want to share with you a little bit about where the Texas UU Justice Ministry started, because it started right here. You are one of the founding member congregations, and it started with lay people, not ministers. It started with Mike Phillips and Diane. It started with people who were paying attention to what was going on in the wider movement. Mike and Diane and some other Texas UUs noticed that California had a state UU legislative ministry. And they thought, well, gosh, Texas could really use one of those. Couldn't we? You know, I like to say that Unitarian Universalism is a small denomination, but we show up big. And I want to invite this congregation to be that, to be the congregation that is showing up big in the work this fall, next spring when we go to the legislature. You're very close. Andrew and I got up here and we drove here in an hour and 15 minutes after all that rock and roll. So I know that you guys can get to the Capitol next spring. I believe in you. And not everybody can travel. So we will talk about the virtual opportunities and the ways that we make this collective Unitarian Universalist action accessible wherever you are. We will talk about that. But in the founding of the organization about 12 years ago, lay folks got together. They eventually enlisted my predecessor and the founding minister, the Reverend Chuck Freeman, who sends his love. As always, I pass along his message to you. Stay strong, keep up the fight. What they did, though, was they also were willing to take feedback, ask questions, and adapt. What Mike reminded me this morning is that when they saw what was working in California, they also talked to those folks. And what they said was, don't just make it a legislative action network or a legislative ministry. It's more than that. You need more than that. And that's how we end up with TexUJM, the Texas UU Justice Ministry, and our mission, which is not just at the Capitol, but is to support our UU congregations all around the state in education, in organization, in mobilization. So we do things like we write grants so that you will have powerful programs like the Transgender Inclusion in Congregations program, like Being a Good Relative, which was our program for Indigenous solidarity and climate justice that we did a couple of years ago with UU College of Social Justice. We provide scholarships for people to go to the border for border witness trips with our partners and learn about what's really happening in our communities, not the negative press that people get, but so you can come back and tell the truth. The importance of being able to tell the truth based on your lived experience, which is one of the sources of Unitarian Universalism as a living tradition. We believe that your lived experience is sacred and to be trusted. So we provide these programs and these opportunities for you to come back and then speak it in the halls of power, write it down in your letters to the editor, in your testimony. As always, I invite you into the spiritual practice of reading your email, because that's where those opportunities will appear. Never do I go to a church on Sunday where someone doesn't say, "You're in my email." I'm like, yes, believe it or not, that's where some of the sacred stuff happens. Then, when Reverend Chuck Freeman needed to retire for his own health reasons, another piece of our history, another piece of what we owe, comes from this congregation. Jan Riolini, who is back there in yellow, friends, you have never seen a person step up, move up, rock it like I have seen Jan Riolini come forward for the Texas UU Justice Ministry. Nothing is a foregone conclusion. It is so because we make it so. And so she came forward as our treasurer. She came forward to support operations when Reverend Chuck was sick before I came into this role. She has continued to be a cheerleader, and she keeps us faithful to the fact that democracy is at stake, and we must be the ones to do the work. Jan, thank you. Can we give her one more round of applause? So now we take the work that Mike and Diane and Jan and so many of you have done, and we bring it forward. If you are a donor, if you've been a volunteer, thank you so much. I also want to introduce you to one of the newest members of the Texas UU Justice Ministry Board and a relatively new member of your congregation. Mark Anthony Rockymore is in the back. If you don't know Mark yet, please do meet him sometime soon. I hope I'm not embarrassing you. Yes. For those of you who don't know, Mark was a leader at the San Marcos congregation and is now here with you. Yes. So let's talk about what we're doing. There are 39 UU organizations. 37 of them are congregations. One of them is us at TexUJM, and one of them is the North Texas UU Congregations Organization. 39 that have gone in together on this UU funding program grant so that we could hire we're calling her the Faith in Democracy Organizer, because it is a part of our faith. It is in our principles. So we have an organizer for that. We are collecting our power. I think you know that those who do not share our values have collected their power for a long time. We must collect our power. It is not enough to know that you've registered to vote and you will vote. It's not enough. You need your voting plan. You need to know that you've gathered your neighbors. You need to find out who is doing the Get Out the Vote outreach for folks who don't speak English. We talked about this last time. What are the organizations in your communities that you can support that are knocking on doors at apartment complexes? I may have told you this last time, but I'll tell you again. Your UU siblings at Bay Area, in the Houston area, told us that when they went and they did their canvassing at an apartment complex near them, one of the women came to the door and said, wait, don't tell me yet. Let me gather my neighbors. No one ever comes and talks to us. And then they got a group together to listen. Because, again, as we said last time, and it bears repeating, not everybody gets bombarded by the partisan text messages and phone calls that many of you are getting. Who is getting bombarded with the, yes. Yes, that's because you are faithful and are voting a lot and probably have a party. What we do at TechSouJam is nonpartisan, not because we don't care who gets elected. We do care, but we care about our values, and one of those values is the inherent worth and dignity of every person. 14% of Texans voted in a recent election. I know, she covered her face, she did this. It's horrifying, but it should give you a source of hope. If we do the work, there are people out there. The people that I see, the trans young adult that I see working the drive-thru at Arby's in Bastrop, Texas on my way home from the Capitol to get a milkshake after a hard day. The neighbors that I have that people assume are going to vote one way, but if we can reach them. So, we are doing nonpartisan work because there are a lot of people who aren't even hearing that the election is happening. I am not even kidding. And there's so much that gets done to obscure people's votes, to prevent them, to make it hard, to make it confusing, to make it frustrating, and to make it intimidating. Some of you may be intimidated to go to the polls. You're not wrong. And please, if that's you, let's get some buddy systems going. Let's get your neighbors. Let's go together. Our votes are needed. Okay, you know that. We can talk about it. You can talk to Jan. We're here all day for you. Send me an email about the election stuff. We're going to make this happen. Then, the power that we built goes to the Capitol during the legislative session. It's not just about an election, and it's not about national. The power that we build on the energy of what's happening nationally goes to our local and our state races, where things really matter for us, with the impact that happens locally. Those relationships you build are then the ones that we go and we leverage at the Capitol to stop. We stopped 95% of the anti-LGBTQIA+ bills in the Capitol. 95% last time. And we passed positive. These are all coalition. When I say we, I'm talking about all the organizations, secular and interfaith, that we work with. We do nothing alone. Know that. Your UU Justice Ministry is frontline with those most impacted, with those who lead the work from their communities, supporting what they are asking of us. And that is how we win. We passed more health care for postpartum folks. We passed more laws, the Crown Act against racial discrimination in the workplace, and we fought off almost all of the laws that would erode the separation of church and state, and all of the schemes to take public money from public schools and put them into vouchers. And the last thing I'll say about that is the one separation of church and state, or weaving together of church and state bill that did get through was about putting unqualified, untrained religious chaplains in place of trained public school counselors. Yes, you should, that is exactly the reaction. And here's the good news. The mobilization and the organizing and the relationships that everybody built back home at the hyper-local level, we took those to the school boards with our partners. Everybody went and they told their school boards no, and not a single school board approved those untrained religious chaplains. So I ask you to take heart, because even when the news tells you it's bad at the state legislature, and it is bad, I want that family back in the pews that is in Illinois now. I miss them with all my heart. Don't get me wrong, it's bad. But it's not as bad as they tell you, and there's a lot of hope for us, and we are in it together. So a little quote for you from Holding Change Again from Adrienne Marie Brown. Many of our movements are in desperate need of a movement. We can get caught up in meeting process as the sole container for how we work together, for how we practice democracy. It is the difference between understanding the meeting as one of many tools for clarifying values, work, and roles, and the meeting as the work itself. UUs love a meeting. So I share that with you because the question was, how do we meet this moment? We're going to meet this moment by remembering to really do the work. That sounds like phone calls and phone banks, which you're invited to. That looks like getting out there and knocking on doors. That looks like text messages and Zoom meetings and all the things. But I invite you into a little bit of discomfort, of brave space, not just safe space, because 57 days from now, I want us to feel like we did everything in our collective power to feel that our values were represented and that everyone's inherent worth and dignity is felt in the ballot box. And then I promise you that your Texas UU Justice Ministry will be working with you to carry that forward in 2025 at the Capitol and in all the places. Are you ready to meet this moment together? Yeah. Are we ready to meet this moment together? Yeah. Let's do it. Thank you.
I'm inspired. We eat the fruit of trees we did not plant and drink water from wells that we did not dig. Being mindful of all the ways we are interconnected, I invite you to give what you can to support this church so that we may fulfill our mission of love here and in the larger world, now and in the future. For those of you viewing online, we invite you to donate on our website or on the link in the chat stream. If you are in the sanctuary, you can donate in the baskets or scan the QR code on the card in the pews to donate online. Would the ushers please come forward?
Song this morning, the offertory song is called Jets, and it's an invitation to be seen and to make a leap of faith. And it is on our album. Oh, it's hard to feel your worth, hiding up there in your tower. Heard you feel invisible. Well, isn't that a superpower? stood on the edge and looked out at the old scene, and I crossed my fingers and imagined what could be, and I wasn't sure if we'd ever be happy again. You reach out your hand like you're trying to save us, a voice like the warm sun, truth you can still trust. So I close my eyes and we leap like this might be the end. But then the jets kick in. We remember who we've been. Catch a ride on a tailwind. Yeah, the jets kick in. Dance on the edge and look out at your own street. Not that you'd ever go home once we've felt this free. Yeah, leap and the net will appear. Well, isn't that what they said? Well, instead the jets kick in. This is who we've always been. Back to life and determined. We will play dead again. It's your life to live, so live it. You got love to give, so give it. Take a leap of faith before it's too late. When you feel invisible, that's your superpower. Andrew Solin.
May the fruit of these gifts nurture us and all who come after us. We bless these gifts and we bless the givers. May it be so. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit and sing 118, This Little Light of Mine, all 3 verses.
To see the dancing. I wanted to go out and dance with our friend here in the American flag, which we are reclaiming, but I wasn't sure how much time we had. Thank you for dancing. All right, friends, will you turn to someone and say, I'm so glad you were here today? Will you tell them, this is great. Will you tell them, I hope I see you again soon? All right, are you with me? What a gift. What a gift to spend today with you and to know that we will be together again in this movement. Our benediction today comes from my dear friend Atina Danner, a poet, activist, advocate in Chicago, who I met at Second Unitarian Church of Chicago in Boys Town when we were both pregnant with our kids that are now 15. And it's gorgeous to see Atina published as an author on Skinner House, our denominational publisher. She has a book called Incantations for Rest. And I commend it to you, not because I want us to be sitting out any of these 57 days, but because we do need to find time. One of the other ways we're going to meet the moment is naps. Get yourself some rest every day, okay? It's a long haul. But this one from Atina is Benediction to Build a World. And I'm going to read some of it. We read it at the Texas UU Justice Ministry Board Retreat 2 weeks ago. I'm going to invite you to join in that spirit, that collective Texas UU spirit. You'll say some lines with me at the end, but here's how it starts. In what world are you powerful? In this world, we can build people power together. In what world do you act on knowledge and truth? In this world, we can learn and move toward justice together. In what world do you hold to your values in the face of what scares you? In this world, we can affirm each other's resolve to do right together. In what world are you confident in your worth? In this world, we can affirm that each of us is enough. Now, in these last 4 sections, I'll ask a question, and then will you please say with me, together we can build this world. Do you want to practice it one time? Together we can build this world. So here it comes. In what world do faith and beliefs guide your choices? Together we can build this world. In what world can you learn from those with less power? Together, we can build this world. In what world could empathy shield you from judging others? Together, we can build this world. And in what world will your power plant roots and tend to branches and leaves? Together, we can build that world. Amen. Ashe. My friends, keep your heads up and your hearts open as we extinguish the chalice, go into the world, and share your Unitarian Universalist faith and love with others. Go in peace.